Not here to waste your time. We are not here to waste your time. We want to be practical, and we want to help you do a few things, which all focuses around being the best chiropractor you can be. And by being the best chiropractor you can be, your neighborhood is safer, your neighborhood is better, your neighborhood is stronger, and you can provide financially for yourself, your family, and your community. It is our absolute conviction that it is your responsibility, duty, and obligation to be massively successful in a way that's the safest for the public. We want to help you bring chiropractic to your public in the safest way with the most minimal of liability, allowing you to give your community, ultimately, the same quality service you give your own family. Anything less than that is absolutely crazy. Anything less than that is a liability. So today, the exciting part of what we're going to do for the next 2 hours is we are going to minimize liability. We're going to maximize quality. And we're going to maximize efficiency. You became a chiropractor in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s for one reason and one reason only. Because you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that every person needed chiropractic. Every person needed it. And if you got arrested for providing a service to the world that was making the world a better place, that was something you did with honor. So many times I hear chiropractors talk. I remember hearing Richard Gold talk. When this husband and wife got married, not married, arrested. It was a husband and wife chiropractic team. Powerful, powerful. And they got arrested for practicing in their office. And this was back in the day where our mentors, the patriarchs of chiropractic, where you had a speakeasy on the door. You were seeing hundreds of people a day being absolutely selective on the people you were taking care of. You had the speakeasy. You open the door, the chiropractor would say, "Who are you?" I mean, granted, you know, you've got to question any human being in our country with the speakeasy. But anyway, maybe it was prohibition, I don't know. So they had to go slide. "Who are you?" But, I mean, next door neighbor, I wanted to borrow some sugar, you know?
No sugar here.
Yeah, right. And the person would slide open the door and say, "Who are you?" "I'm looking for a chiropractor. I heard there was a chiropractor here." By the way, this was Reggie Gold's first experience in seeing a chiropractor. Reggie Gold was an antique dealer in his 30s, early 30s, late 20s, and he had immigrated over here from England. And Reggie was a real tough cat, man. He served a bit in World War II. Reggie was Jewish. And when he served in World War II, he served with the British Army. And the British Army gave him a hard time because they felt like because Reggie was Jewish, it was his people that was bringing Great Britain into the war. So Reggie had to prove himself in his own unit. And I believe he worked with the Special Forces. So after the war, Reggie came over here, and he was an antique dealer, and for some reason, he decided to go and see a chiropractor. And the first chiropractor he saw, Reggie knocked on the door, and Reggie said, "Yeah, I'm here to see the chiropractor." And the buddy was with Reggie. And the guy slammed his door shut and said, "There's no chiropractor here!" And then the friend says, No, Reggie's with me. It's cool." And then the door opened. Reggie heard the message, and the very next day headed to Palmer School of Chiropractic to become a chiropractor.
The atlas, you look at me from the side. My atlas is anterior. The superior oblique, can you see how the superior oblique would be pulling that atlas posterior? Secondarily, because the superior oblique goes from superior to inferior, secondarily, if I have an atlas that's lateral to the right side goes up, the left side drops inferior, the superior oblique could respond to atlas laterality on the opposite side. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So an atlas that's anterior, that's primary, we use that primarily for an atlas that's anterior. When we have an infant, superior oblique is used for atlas anteriority. They don't seem to care. So, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to feel the superior oblique. So I'm going to find the mastoid process. I want to feel where the mastoid meets the occiput and put my finger right in that space. There's only one muscle there, and that's the superior oblique. Put my finger in that space. I'm going to palpate up and down, kind of feel the belly of that muscle. All right, so I'm going to find the mastoid process. Right behind the mastoid process and just off the occiput is the superior oblique. All right. Superior oblique does what? Pulls the atlas TP posterior, doesn't it? Atlas is anterior, kind of like the kind of like the splenius cervicis.
Yeah.
Pulls the atlas posterior. So the isolation test is the same as the splenius cervicis. So I'm going to put my finger behind the mastoid process, turn your head to the right for me, relax. This is a real easy one to feel. Turn your head to the right, and then relax. Now I'm going to have you turn your head and hold it for just a couple of moments. Turn your head and hold it for me, and then relax. So when he turns his head and holds that contraction, then I can kind of bump over the belly of the muscle, and I can feel the muscle really well. All right? So try that technique. Have them contract, relax, contract, relax. On the last one, contract and hold it for a moment or two. See if you can feel the belly of the muscle. When they relax, see if you can then feel the belly of the muscle with the patient relaxed. So let's show you two other muscles before you guys start palpating. I want to show you the inferior oblique. Inferior oblique, chiropractic.
So to get the practice, we've heard it said before, philosophy is the foundation. Without the philosophy, you're just kind of, the gerbil spinning the wheel. You have to have a foundation that gets you excited, that protects you so that you're not doing anything you shouldn't be doing, that keeps you humble, and gives your practice and life meaning. And people need to see the value and importance in your care. I base, if you guys don't own Joe Strauss's Blue Books, I highly recommend getting them. And in practice building for straight chiropractors, there's 7 controlling convictions that kind of help guide the way I practice. First and foremost is that chiropractic is not a branch or a part of medicine. I think the issue that most chiropractors have is that they don't have a clear definition for medicine, and then therefore kind of weave in and out of that if they're practicing in the therapeutic model. The diagnosis, treatment, cure, prevention of disease is medicine. So if you're doing any of that, you're kind of in their territory. Chiropractic needs to be defined by its objective, and that is correcting subluxations to enable the life and the body to be expressed better, to enable the forces generated by the innate intelligence to be expressed better. That is how I define what chiropractic is. The innate intelligence is superior to any educated intelligence we may have. Subluxations occur on a frequent basis.
When they're talking about it. Like, for example, Stamati and I are crossing the street. Stamati says, yeah, with Mark, we crossed the street. And it was a little rough because there was a bit of traffic. It was 5.5 lanes, but we made it across and everything was fine. And we're like, cool. And then I repeat the same story. Oh, you should have seen it. I mean, traffic was everywhere. I wasn't sure if we were going to make it. And then I looked over, and there's Stamati with that strong Greek jawline and those great eyebrows. And he says, come on with me. The window's open. And I says, do you think we can make it, Stamati? He says, just follow me and focus. And I said, you got it. And the wind was blowing his hair, and the car was coming, but I moved out of the way. It was really fast. And I looked at Stamati, and I said, I'm all right. And he said, keep going. And we pushed through, and it got real cold. And then there was this truck coming. I mean, this truck was big, and I saw my life flash before me, and he was coming right at me, and Stamati grabbed me, and he pulled me on the sidewalk, and we embraced in a hug, and that moment brought us closer together, and it changed my life forever. And that's usually when my friend looks at me and says, was I even there? Was I there when that happened? So, meta programs. Meta programs determine how you see your environment. There are some people who are big picture. I'm a big picture person. You give me the big picture, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to help chiropractors be more successful, be more congruent, and make tons of money providing safe, quality service for everybody in their community. I'm a big picture. You start